Hey guys, it's Luke here from LT Gaming, and welcome back to all you LT gamers. Today I'm checking out the early access of Shadows of Doubt, a really exciting game that I've played quite a lot of over the last few days. Essentially, it's an immersive sandbox detective stealth game, and it's set in a fully simulated sci-fi city of crime and corruption. This one has bundles of atmosphere, great music, a really unique playstyle, and honestly, I think that many of the viewers of this channel will absolutely love this game. But before I start, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Me and Tom love the trajectory of the channel and we appreciate all of the interaction. Let's just be clear from the beginning with one caveat: the game is early access and we do not recommend getting into something unless you are sure. The developers have also said this themselves: if you're not sure about the game's concepts, wait until it's fully released and reviewed. However, I'm kind of a fan of getting in early and trying products out. Let's see where it goes, and honestly with this one, I'd highly recommend getting involved. Setting the scene in Shadows of Doubt is extremely important because the atmosphere is what really sells this game. Essentially, it's set in an alternate reality in the hyper-industrialized 1980s, and you are a detective who can use a number of gadgets and your investigative skills to uncover crimes, murders, and solve side quests. What really makes this game awesome is the fully simulated world in which you are a part of. There can be hundreds of citizens, and there is quite a lot of customization. You can create small to large cities, which can be absolutely sprawling. You can discover, meet, and also investigate all of the citizens within the game, find out their names, their jobs, where they live, and even their daily routine. And this really affects the experience. There were a number of times where I rang a phone number and nobody was home because they were working. I mean, how cool is that? And then I'd ring them at night, they'd answer, I'd maybe get their name, and then I'd break in, have a good look around their apartment, and potentially assault them. But honestly, the things that you can do in this game, they blew my mind. It's so expansive and unique that I think everybody has to try this. I'm not a huge puzzle fan, yet I found myself totally engrossed in this game. And just to expand on that, you can explore anywhere within a city. I mean, if you look up and see a light on in an apartment complex, that means you can go there. You can break in, you can find who lives there, you can explore who they are, what they do. It's just such a cool concept. So unique, and I love to see this with gaming, right? Trying something new that we haven't done before. It's not just following the same script, and that's what I absolutely have to praise this game on. The case board in this game is really cool. You essentially gather as much information as you can about a side quest or a murder, and then you pin it to a board and create links and connections. So let's say I find out that the person I'm investigating or one of my leads is called Amy. I can link that to where the person lives by looking at the city directory. I can then plot a course directly from my board to where they are, so I can break in, gather more information, and carry out my investigation. The case board is executed really well. So let's move on and touch upon the presentation of the game. Already it's excellent, I have to say. Now the graphics are of voxel style. Some people may not like that, some people may absolutely love it. Personally, I think it's great and it allows for a big and immersive world to be portrayed. However, performance, let's touch upon that just a little bit. It isn't always very good. And I know it's early access, we have to cut these guys some leeway, but they're gonna have to work on it. There were times when my frame rate dropped to around 19 frames, and that's not really good enough. So look, we look forward to bug patches and performance fixes in the future, but they really do have to work on that aspect. And in fairness to the developer, they have laid all this out in a pre-launch post, so they are well aware that performance issues need to be tackled. There were two other main problems with the early access version I played. One was bugs, so I would call a number, they were supposed to give me a location, and they just gave me a dot. And this was essentially ending the questline for me. The second one is the game is extremely difficult. Now there are a lot of stealth elements within this game, and maybe I'm just not used to them, maybe I'm impatient, which I am actually impatient, but I did find the game extremely difficult and I had to save and reload a number of times to stop things from going really badly wrong. So yeah, if you are a person who doesn't like difficult games, then it might not be for you. But overall, I kept finding myself coming back. I would load up my save, I'd have another go, I'd try a different way into the building or a different approach, and a lot of the time I found that very rewarding. And that has to be praised. I mean, I'm not a fan of puzzlers, yet I am absolutely loving this game. The immersive elements like having your own apartment, being able to buy furniture, items, showering, cleaning myself, eating food, cooking food, that is really all part of the fun for me. There is also some really cool discs that you can install to upgrade yourself, and one of the first ones I got gave me 5,000 credits but would cost 6,000 credits to uninstall. But it gave me a problem where I was addicted to cola drinks and I have to keep drinking cola. Every time I do, it reduces the uninstall cost by I think 5 credits. So my investigator's completely addicted to cola. I don't know, I just find these elements really fun. And on top of this, some of my investigations have been truly chaotic. I've broken into people's apartments, I've snuck around in the dark, they've woken up, I've then beat them to a pulp, logged onto their computers and printed out all of the information that I've needed. At the end of this, you take your information to the city hall and you enter what you think are the correct details and get rewarded on the basis of that. The game, honestly, is so much fun. I want this quick review to be your guide as to whether you should get on board with this project in early access. And I am 100% sold on this game. I would happily recommend it to anybody who wants to try something immersive and new, and a game with an absolutely amazing cyberpunk atmosphere. I'd really like to cover this game more, maybe do some let's plays of cases that I'm looking at, and just show the LT gamers what this one is all about. But in its current state, and for $19.99, I highly recommend getting on board with this game. There we go, LT gamers, a really unique early access project that I think you should absolutely dive into. I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.